Hi, friends. Welcome back to Live at the Roxy. I am back on the West Coast. Here I am in not so sunny Los Angeles, California. Uh, man, we got a lot to talk about. Also, it's Sunday. We can talk TV. I've been more into recently. Yes, I'm still watching a ton of TV. Sometimes I watch a little less when I go home, but I've been more into talking to you guys about life than I have been talking to you guys about art. I think it's because on Real Rejects, on Christian Harloff, on Only Stupid Answers, I'm constantly talking movies and TV. So I'm not lacking for that, which I love. But when I'm here with you guys on this channel, yes, I want to talk about the TV shows that I don't get a chance to talk about elsewhere. And yes, I want to talk about some movies that I'm enjoying. But for the most part, I like to talk about life and what's going on in your lives, in my life, and also the lessons we kind of learn along the way. I finally am at an age where I feel qualified to give life advice in certain areas. For example, as you guys know, this week a movie dropped on Tuesday called Wildcat that I'm in with Kate Beckinsale. I feel qualified to talk to people who want to be working actors. Does that mean that I've booked every role that I've ever gone out for? No. But do I have some tips and tricks on how to get in a movie with a star? Yes, I do. I am also somebody who has had multiple relationships. One was 6 years long and could not have been worse. And sometimes I feel more qualified to talk about relationships than people who have always been with the love of their life and not struggled with the wrong Mr. Wrong or Mrs. Wrong. So it's interesting being 34 and feeling like I actually I have thoughts on these things to back up with life, and not to say that younger people don't, and not to say that older people don't have more of that, but that's kind of where this channel has gone a little bit. And yes, I still talk about those other things, but when I was thinking about what to do with the show tonight, and of course, Welcome to Derry, episode 6 was a banger. I have a whole Real Rejects watch along with it that you guys can check out, and I'm sure I'll talk about it here. Of course, Stranger Things dropped its season, the first 4 episodes of its final season. I actually haven't watched all of it yet. I've only seen the first episode, which is crazy for me. Of course, Pluribus is the best show on television right now, and this most recent episode ended with this craziest cliffhanger, and all of that is stuff we can discuss. But I was thinking about, yes, I could tonight put one of those things in the thumbnail, and yes, I would probably get a lot more people in this room watching it, and yes, I do think that that would be the smarter financial and business decision, and yet there's been one main thing that's been on my mind all day, and it's my channel, and it's my show, and my name is in this title. And therefore, one of the cool things about that is that I get to actually decide what I want to talk about tonight is detaching from outcome. And if you don't know what that means, welcome to the club. We're going to talk about it. So that's how I came to the conclusion of what this Sunday night was going to be about. And you guys let me know how you feel. This is not a dictatorship. This is a democracy. You guys get to be here as well. Let your voice be heard. Speaking of letting your voice be heard, you can always let your voice be heard. Streamlabs.com/Roxy Stryer. Super chat in. Say what it is that you have going on. How was your Thanksgiving? How are your holidays going? I know this is a weird time for people. I try to go live during the holidays. This year, that was not possible on Thanksgiving because there was other stuff going on. But I am here now to close out the weekend with you guys, and I'm happy to be here with you. So hopefully you welcome me back open arms. I do see we have some super chats already rolling in, some Streamlabs already going in. So let's start with what's going on with you guys, and then we will attempt to pivot. All right, our first super chatter of the day. Scotty doesn't know. Hope you had a great Thanksgiving and weekend. Just watched the new Welcome to Derry episode, and man, that next 2 episodes are going to be gnarly as fuck. Yeah, I'm super duper with you. Scotty doesn't know. I thought that episode was excellent. I'm very curious where we're going from here. There was a lot of shocking moments. Without giving spoilers, there were a lot of shocking moments that caught me off guard in this episode. Stuff with one specific female character, stuff with one specific male character, a way that he reacted to a child. There was a lot going on that made me be like, oh, I thought I knew what was happening here. I clearly do not know what's happening here. I don't know if the Real Rejects reaction is up yet. Let's see. Does anybody know if that is on the channel yet? If it is, when you're done here, go check that out. Because I'm having a blast doing that with Tara and Andrew. We've been really enjoying the show. So let's see. Real Rejects. Just for you guys, I flew back so that we could shoot that on time. But still, it's a big edit for the editors. So I don't see it up yet. I'm sure it will be up in the next couple of hours. Perfect timing. Watch this, then watch that. Scotty also said, Scotty doesn't know, what's your favorite Christmas tradition that you grew up doing or new one you picked up recently? So, Scotty, it's actually a great question because I think something that people don't know about Jews, which is kind of funny, is that we don't celebrate Christmas. A lot of my friends that didn't grow up with Jews assume that Jews celebrate Christmas because they deem it to be more of an Americanized holiday, or if they're in the UK or wherever, just more of a festive holiday. But to me, Christmas, Christ Mass, is a Christian holiday. Not just to me, it is. We don't have that in the Jewish faith. So we didn't celebrate. I don't have a single Christmas tradition that is in the sense of Christmas tradition to you. But what Jews do on Christmas, and this is kind of like a universal Jewish truth, is that we get Chinese food and we go to the movies. And pretty much every Jewish friend or person you've ever met does those things on Christmas. Why do we get Chinese food? Well, because Chinese food is open on Christmas and Jews love Chinese food. And why do we go to the movies? Because nobody's there. That is not where Christian people go during Christmas usually. So the movies are empty and Chinese food is accessible. And that tends to be what Jews do on Christmas. So that's, I guess, my tradition. And okay, here's what I don't want you guys to do. You can't be going up to every Jewish person you know now, assuming that that's what they do. Like, I'm not the mayor of Jews. I'm not speaking for all Jews, but what I can say is, like, it's pretty much all Jews, like literally almost all of us. Some Jews who grew up in less Jewish communities do try to acclimate and do try to blend in with Christian tradition, because we do live in such a Christian nation despite separation of church and state. So, for example, my ex-boyfriend, his family, even though his mom and his dad were Jewish, he celebrated Christmas. I never grew up with anybody who did that, but he said because all the kids in his neighborhood celebrated Christmas, that they celebrated Christmas. So, like, they had a Christmas, even though both parents were Jewish, they had a Christmas tree and did Christmas. I'd never heard of that before, but that's what he did. So I'm not saying that also that's impossible. Also, we're not a monolith. I guess some people do that. Definitely we did not. For Hanukkah, switching over to Hanukkah traditions, I light the candles. I've done that with you guys on this show. It's called menorah. It's a candelabra, and I light them for all 8 nights of Hanukkah. And when I was growing up, my favorite tradition is that my mom would get me, my brother, and my sister as a present a calendar for the next year. And the calendar, she did such a great job. Remember, this is before she died, before Amazon was a thing. So this is before Amazon existed. So you'd have to go to the store to find this. She would get each one of us a calendar that really exemplified where we were at that year. So, like, if we were obsessed with Mortal Kombat, it might be a Mortal Kombat calendar, or if you were really into fashion that year or whatever. And she did such a great job knowing us. So every year she would get us like a gangbusters calendar. She never missed for each one of us. And the last calendar she ever got me, I still have hanging on my door in my childhood bedroom, because I like cannot bring myself to take it down. So yeah, that was my favorite tradition, um, for Hanukkah. Yeah, I want to do that when if I, whatever my familial situation looks like, because I think it's such a cool way to tell somebody you're listening to them, you know what they're into. And then also physical calendars are very nice. It's one of the reasons I really liked doing the World Girls calendar. I like physical calendars. I think it's cool to be able to look at the wall and check things off, write things down. It's just nice. What about you guys? What are some of your favorite traditions? Let me know. Super chat in, Streamlabs in. Thank you, Scotty, for the questions. I always appreciate when you guys kind of steer the direction of the show and make it so that it's a collaborative effort. We talk about what you guys want to talk about. A little you, a little me. Oh, Mike, you still have the last World Girl calendar. I still have the 3 World Girl calendars sitting on my coffee table. Is that self-indulgent? Maybe. Do I love them? Yes. I love Dee and Steph, so it's nice to keep them out. Uh, it makes me smile when I look at them and knowing what we created with the World Girls, which I still feel so unbelievably proud of and still love the community so much. Obviously, a lot of you guys here uh, were with me over at the World Girls as well, or here because you were at the World Girls. So it's cool to keep that out. And then whenever I have company, they do ultimately ask, what is this? And I'm like, oh, that's a company that I had. It was bitching. Let's go to the Streamlabs, streamlabs.com/Roxy Stryer. Handsome Ransom in the house says, aloha, sending good vibes and positivity as always. And I'll even throw in a smile and a ribbon because I'm special. For those of you guys who don't know that reference, I'm just pausing Handsome Ransom for a second. Okay, there is a theme song for It Welcome to Derry. I'll be special and I'll be rare with a smile and a ribbon in my hair. And the theme song is, I'm trying to just really dissect it. It's this little girl talking about being special and rare, wearing a smile and a ribbon in her hair. And I'm like, bitch, nothing special about that. Lots of bitches be wearing ribbons in their hair and a smile on their face. But then people pointed out, she's not saying she's special and rare because of that. She's just saying she's special and rare and that. Lots to discuss with that. So Handsome Ransom, thanks for coming over and bringing the reject vibes onto the channel. He goes on to say, on a bus right now, leaving LA, going back to hell, parentheses, Arizona. I like Arizona. Hope you had an awesome Thanksgiving. Stay iconic and as always, long live #Strivers. Handsome Ransom, what's the deal with why are you leaving LA? Why were you here for the holidays? What were you doing? Let me know. Lloyd Nance in the house, streamlabs.com/Roxy Stryer. Lloyd says, Team Stryer, Wildcat was amazing. You're amazing. My kind of action flick. Spoiler warning. So until I wave my hand again, go away if you haven't watched Wildcat. Spoiler warning. What happened to your character in the end? Are you going to be in the sequel? Your hair looks fabulous. Thank you, Lloyd. So listen, I would love for there to be a sequel. And listen, if you don't see somebody dead, if you don't see them die, then chances are they're still alive. Have I talked to them about that? Yes, I have. Have I talked to them really about it? Not really. But I casually brought it up a couple times and I wasn't shut down. So you never know. Okay, that's enough on that. Thank you so much for watching the movie. I'm so glad that you like that kind of action movie. It's very cool to be in an action movie. I haven't been in a film like this, so it was exciting. Just to talk about Wildcat for a second. I have been getting some really beautiful comments on this. For those of you guys who don't know, if you've been not hearing me talk about it for the last month, I was in a movie that dropped on Tuesday. It's in limited theaters, and also you can purchase it for a rent or to own on Amazon, Apple, VOD, everywhere. It's called Wildcat. It's starring Kate Beckinsale, Louis Tan, and a lot of people that you will recognize from all over Charles Dance and Alice Cringe and a bunch of huge actors that I've been watching on my screen since I was a little girl. So the movie dropped, and I'm not in that much of the film. As I've told you guys, I have a couple of scenes, but my scenes are all with Kate Beckinsale, and I'm in the effing movie, and people have been so kind about it. And I watched it first, I watched it alone at a bar. Do with that what you will. Then I watched it with my sister on Thanksgiving after dinner, and that was really cool. And it's cool to see yourself, and I was proud of my performance. And I think that, are there small things that I would tweak? Yes, absolutely. What's interesting is, like, it always depends on the edit, right? And which take of yours you're using. And so you might be emotionally escalating to one point, but the edit might be another thing or whatever. And so you just never kind of know. And for the most part, I just thought that I did a really strong job. And not that it was the hugest of roles, but for me, I felt proud of it. I think it's very difficult to be on set with such a megastar and not panic. And I think I held my own. So I was excited about that. And yeah. Okay, Sam, being very vague. You don't want to spoil what you liked about Wildcat. I have thoughts on your character. Haha. Okay. Fingers crossed they're okay. I like Mike's comment better. I'm an important side character. Thank you. Yeah, I'm 11 on the call sheet, which means that I I somewhat mattered to the plot, which is cool. Were there any scenes you filmed that did not make it to the screen? Actually, for this, there were no full scenes that I filmed that didn't make the screen, but there was one scene that was significantly longer that didn't make it to screen. It was actually one of my favorite things, but it makes sense that they cut it because you want to keep an action movie really tight, especially when it's a VOD movie like this, where people are watching it holiday times with their family. You want like a 90-minute movie, something fun, fierce, get in, get out. You don't want it to drag with semantics and whatnot. So I think they made the right call, but it'd be cool if they released the Roxy cut. It's not like Crust where there was legitimately entire scenes that got scrapped. Of my stuff, which happens, no harm, no foul. But for this one, everything that I think I shot 4 scenes, and all of them made it in. So thanks for the questions, guys. So if you have more questions, streamlabs.com/Roxy Stryer, super chat in. Appreciate Handsome Ransom, Lloyd Nance, and Scotty doesn't know that Roxy is doing a show right now. Yes, he does know because he Streamlabbed, and so I guess he knows. And he sent in Streamlabs. Scotty does know. Okay, Handsome Ransom in the super chat. Nope, in the Streamlabs. Streamlabs.com/Roxy Stryer says, Aloha, came to LA to visit my dad and sisters. Also, got back on contact with some aunts and cousins from my mom's side of the family, which was very wholesome. I didn't grow up with any of them in my life. So my cousins that used to babysit me as a wee lad, and then he says 1 of 2, refreshing to see if we have 2 of 2 yet, but that's really cool. Always getting in touch with people who you were out of touch with for a little bit of time. It can be very nerve-wracking, and then it can be very rewarding. Oh, you like the non-phone vertical stream? I don't know. Oh, what's up, Bucky? Thanks for being here, Rejects Mod. Thanks to everybody for being here. Let me know if you are liking the vertical or if you are on the classic YouTube. Yeah, I can see all the chats, but you guys can't see the chats of the other places. I don't know if I'm going to keep doing it this way. Some of you guys have asked me to continue doing it this way, but it splits my views. It cuts down on revenue, and it is not as fun for the chat, but it does give more options to the people. So I'm kind of conflicted on it. For those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, I'm dual streaming live right now, vertically and horizontally. And yeah, I don't know. It's cool that it's an option, but I wish that they would merge the streams afterwards. And I wish that the chats would be simultaneous so you guys could read both chats and not just me seeing both chats coming through so that there's more people to talk to. Okay, still waiting on Handsome Ransom's part 2. While he's doing it, let me kind of talk to you guys about today. Okay, so a couple of shows ago, I mentioned to you guys that I like to start thinking about my 2026, my next year, in advance, because what's always challenging is it hits January 1 and we're scrambling for goals. This happens to a lot of people, and it's happened to me as well, where it hits January 1, on December 31st, you've gone out drinking. You wake up January 1st, you're feeling hungover, you're feeling not motivated, you haven't thought about your goals for the year yet, whether it's personal, professional, familial, whatever. And you're like, what do I want this year? You're not in a good headspace to start thinking about it. It takes you a little time to actually brainstorm what it is you want to focus on. Next thing you know, you're 2 weeks into January before you're starting anything, and you're not progressing the way you were hoping to. Now, is that for everybody? Of course not. Of course not. Some people wake up sober as a bird on January 1st and feel ready to go, and they come up with their goals immediately and they're like, let's go. Some people don't believe in setting goals. Some people set goals around their birthday. Some people set goals just every month. So everybody is different, of course. But what I was finding for myself is that typically, just being fully transparent with you guys, as somebody who likes a beverage or 3, 5 on December 31st, I like to go out. I like to booze up. I was waking up January 1st every year. Every year that I wake up January 1st, I actually can't think of a single year in the last 2 decades that I've woken up sober and ready on the 1st. It's just not my MO. I like to drink the last year away. And if you're like, oh, that's wrong, then maybe this isn't the show for you. Maybe I'm not the life advice person for you. And is drinking not good for you? Yeah, of course. Do I do it anyway? Yes, I do. Do I do it excessively? Try not to. But on the 31st, I enjoy some beverages. So, and sometimes those beverages look more like cannabis. Sometimes it looks more like whatever, but I like to go out and dance and have a good time on the 31st. So, okay. So what I try to do is I really try to, in advance, think about what I want to accomplish for the next year. And as I start thinking about that, sometimes it looks very general and then I get specific, and sometimes I start with the specifics and I get general. One of the things that I've been really thinking about recently is how attached I am to the outcomes of so many different things in my life. And outcomes are actually something that you can't control. You can only control your day to day and the choices you make. And I really want to work on for 2026, and this will manifest in different ways that I'll get into, detaching from outcome. Now, what main areas am I talking about? Well, number one, as always, the area that you guys know that I am the most focused on and will continue to be in 2026 and have been for the last 15 years is my career. I think something extremely taxing about my career is that if you are outcome focused, so I'm focused on, did I book the movie or not? Did I book the hosting gig or not? Did my script get sold or not? Was the movie successful financially or not? If you are focused on those outcomes instead of what you can do that you can actually control to continue climbing up the hill, it will kind of drive you crazy, because you know what I can't do? I can't guarantee that Wildcat is a critic or financial success. So far, so good, but that's not something I can control the outcome of. I can't even control if I book the movie or not. What I can control is my audition, my preparation, how many hours I'm putting into the work that I'm doing. Same thing with my writing, my scripts. I can control how many minutes a day that I'm writing for. I can control what classes I'm taking to better myself. There are certain things I can control. And so I'm really trying to let go of outcome number one in my career. So all of my goals this year are going to be not outcome oriented. So an outcome oriented goal would be I want to book another movie this year. And while that is true, that is a desire of mine, it's actually not a good goal for me. A good goal for me would be I would like to take Wildcat, update my reel, submit that reel to X amount of casting directors, and those are tangible steps that I could make. Or I would like to have a meeting with my manager, my reps, about doing more generals with producers and directors and meet 5 new people this year that could be potential business partners for me. So those kind of things, I'm just throwing out examples, would be appropriate goals for somebody who's not trying to be outcome oriented. Now, will those lead to a better outcome? Yeah, I think so. But that's one area that I've been really thinking about, trying to let go, detach from outcome. Because what happens is my self-worth is so dictated by my career. And if my career is dictated by outcome, then I actually can't do much for my self-worth. For example, I feel better about myself right now because I'm in a fucking movie with Kate Beckinsale. I can't always do that. And so I have to find things that make me feel good about myself that don't have to be outcome oriented. Like, okay, I feel good about myself because today I read a new play. I wrote for 15 minutes, 2 hours, whatever it is. I put an audition on tape, and that audition that I put on tape, I did the work. I did my backstory. I got a reader to come do it with me. It looked good. It was crisp. I submitted it on time. And that makes me feel good about myself, not I booked the role. And so, really trying to work on having my self worth be dictated by the choices I make, not the outcome of those choices. I'm feeling proud of those choices. This is definitely a new thing for me, but the other area that I'm really working on this is in my love life, which hot teas I'll talk about momentarily. Going into the Streamlabs, though, streamlabs.com/Roxy Stryer. Send in questions, comments, concerns, thoughts. What are you guys thinking for 2026? Talk to me about where you're at. Curious if we can break down some of your future ideas for yourself. Handsome Ransom, with part 2 of his message, said, they got to meet me. So wait, so going back, just to remind you guys, I didn't grow up with any of them, the aunties in my life. So my cousins that used to babysit me as a wee lad, they got to meet me as an adult, drink some tequila, hell yeah, eat some Mexican food, cruise the PCH, Pacific Coast Highway. That's the highway on the beach on the West Coast, and caught up on life, good, the bad, and the ugly. Very good trip. My sister's having fun at her first year at Howard U. Time with the Famabama went well. Handsome Ransom, what a great update. I love updates like this because it helps me get to know each one of you guys a little better. I'm always connected to you, but I feel like this is just such a beautiful thing to share. And I think that it can be really intimidating opening up to people that are family, but that you don't know that intimately or for that long. I think it's very cool that you guys were able to bond and that you guys were vocal about the good, the bad, and the ugly. And I appreciate you sharing that. Hell yeah. RQMDSMD in the Streamlabs with that big support. Thank you. Streamlabs.com/Roxy Stryer. Hi, Roxy. Just sending in some support. I've gotten a lot better with detachment from outcome. As I've aged, I can only control my actions. I think that's really cool. Tell me more about that RQMDSMD. What do you think it was that really made you get better with it? Because, of course, as we age, we grow in certain areas, but were there certain situations that kind of made you forced you to improve with that, or advice people gave you, or what happened? Something that I found recently, and that's why I started the show like this, is that like I don't know what, maybe it's because I'm starting to see somebody, as you guys know, which I'll tell you guys about in a minute what's going on there, but something that I find interesting is the algorithm, and maybe I'm now watching dating clips more than I ever have before, and so it's sending me more, or maybe it's listening to my conversations, or maybe it sees that I post on YouTube about that and then it just sends me more stuff, or whatever. But for some reason, my feed has gone really deep into romance advice, dating advice, love life advice, advice about finding a man, keeping a man, advice about being in your feminine to attract masculine, just like a lot of stuff. And my algorithm has never been about that. And I actually prefer it not be about that, but now it is. And I've been watching more stuff, and some of it I think is just absolute bullshit advice. And one of the reasons I started this video the way I did today about my qualifications is because there's a guy who I feel can't be older than 21. He's a college student, so he's probably in his late teens or early 20s. And he has hundreds of thousands of followers, and he gives relationship advice. And he makes like a lot of blanket statements like, ladies, if you want to find a man, and then he'll say what it is, or like, if you want to keep a man, or here's how you know if a guy likes you. And I'm like, based on what? Like, based on what you and your 20-year-old pals are talking to with each other? Or, and I'm not saying that doesn't make him valid. I'm not saying there's not a market for that, but I don't know about that. And then on the opposite side of things, I get a lot of age qualified people, but that are saying things that I'm like, I don't know if that's true. Okay, so there's this one guy who lives by the advice that there are these buckets that men put women in. Bucket 1, 2, or 3. And bucket 1 is for wifey. There's only one person that can be in that bucket. Bucket 2 is for people that you're really, really attracted to and you're going to take out on a lot of dates and you really like them, but you never have intention to take them home to mom and dad. And bucket 3 is for people you're attracted to, but you're going to not give as much time or energy attention to because you know it's never going to go anywhere, and they're just not high enough for bucket 2 and certainly not bucket 1. Okay, so that his theory is, in order to be in bucket number 1, if you are bucket number 1, a man will have locked it down with some kind of a commitment by 3 dates, maximum 5 dates. I've seen a lot of his videos at this point. He does a really good job making these concise, very quick videos that are well shot, well lit. And so before I know it, I've finished watching it and I'm like, what? Why have I watched so many of this man's videos? And maybe he's right, maybe he's wrong. I don't know. But I think it's interesting because it does make people start to second guess things. And I don't really feel that way. Like, okay, if a man sees a future with you, he will have made a commitment to you by date 3, maximum date 5. Maybe that's true. Or maybe it's not. The reason I don't feel that way is because I wouldn't do that personally. But men and women, as he says, are very different, and women take longer to make decisions. There's this other guy that I found, also very young, who says that men know whether they're in love. All men know they're in love by date 3. and that no woman knows if she's in love by date 3. Is it possible that men and women could be this different and we could make such blanket statements about things like this? Uh, that feels so arbitrary and wild to me. Women feel this, men feel this. Maybe it's the majority of people that are men or women. I don't know. But what do you guys think about those things? Do you think that if you are really into somebody and you think that there's potential future, that you will have made a commitment by maximum date 5? Is that how you feel? Just curious. Curious about this. Streamlabs.com/Roxy Stryer, super chat in. And is every generation different? You know, and is every demographic different? And is every career and location? Just feel like a lot of these generalized advice people, it's hard. And yeah, I don't know. So talking about myself for a second, and feel free to ask follow-up questions, my dears. Actually, wait, before I do that, I noticed earlier this came in from Leonidas Langford. Leonidas, is that your name? That's a sick name. Leonidas? Leonidas? You sound like a god. Langford 1370. How do you get through difficult times? I lost job. Leonidas, first of all, having that name got to get you through a lot of difficult times. You must be the man. Man, again, with the like kind of general question, the thing is everybody's so different with how people get through difficult times, and depends on what the difficult time is. So how I get through difficult times depends on what's happening. If I'm going through a breakup, I try to really fill my days with shit that sounds tolerable to me. So I like television. I like sometimes when I'm going through a breakup, I can't stomach food, but I try the ice cream method, which is just eating ice cream. Sometimes doesn't work. Sometimes it does. I try to load up my work schedule and stay busy. When I'm going through difficult times, staying busy is so key, so that I don't have a lot of time to sit there and just think about the thing that's so difficult. I try to be action oriented. If there's anything I can do about the difficult time, instead of sitting and stressing, I try to take action. So whether that's working towards making change, like say the difficult time is about finances, I try to put myself in a different financial position. I try to pick up more jobs. I try to focus more on taking money making work as opposed to passion, which sometimes sucks, but you have to do what you have to do. If the difficult thing is about a relationship, I try to be proactive, whether that's couples therapy or changing up your strategy, adding in date nights. If it's health related, again, I've been trying really hard recently to be proactive with my health, which is another thing I want to talk about when detaching from outcome. One of my health things right now, I'm really having to detach from outcome and take it day by day, moment by moment. So action oriented, staying busy, realizing that stressing about something won't actually make it better. So trying to have a positive attitude, because it's just it's more helpful than having a negative attitude, and the same amount of time consuming. Those are some things. Hopefully that helps a little bit. I'm sorry to hear about losing the job. I know that you I think for you, being action oriented here is getting on unemployment, looking for another job, doing 5 things a day to attempt to get that other job. So whether it's reaching out to friends and loved ones and sending out your resume, reorganizing your resume, getting a job that just pays the bills for a little while, and whether that's Uber, Postmates, bartending, which those jobs can be very difficult to get, but just something to bring in some income until you get the job that you're looking for. And because that's one of those things that you have to be proactive about. So hopefully that helps a little bit. Streamlabs.com/Roxy Stryer. Send in that support. Thank you for being here with me on this late night show. Handsome Ransom in the house says, aloha. Just want to say we are all proud of you. You're so awesome, and your hard work is showing, whether you see it or not. To quote Phoebe Buffay, a beautiful person to quote, I really believe big things are going to happen for you. I do. You've got to just keep thinking about the day that some kid is going to run up to his friends and go, I got the part. I got the part. I'm going to be Roxy Stryer's ass. Joey Tribbiani. Long live #Strivers. Handsome Ransom. Thank you so much for this. Yeah, I feel it's hard because am I where I want to be career-wise? No, of course not. But am I miles past from where I started? Yes. And with every success and every victory comes a little taste of what I hope to be a lifelong career of my dream. It felt so good this week to have people messaging me that they saw me on Jimmy fucking Kimmel. Like, my face was on Jimmy Kimmel Live. I don't even know if I said that here on the show tonight. And people who haven't texted me in years, who were watching Jimmy Kimmel, saw a clip of me in Wildcat and texted me, which I love. People watched the movie because it came up on there for you on Apple and Amazon and said, holy shit, you popped up in the movie that I was watching. I felt like $1 million because of that. It was just very cool. So I can only imagine what it feels like to be Kate Beckinsale. And fingers crossed that one day I know that feeling. Maybe not that exact feeling, because like she's the most beautiful person that ever walked the face of the earth. But you guys get the idea. A feeling similar. Being a star. Being the star of the movie. So, yeah, it was exciting. I did hear that Party of Darkness, speaking of Mike, is playing at the Culver City Film Festival in December. For anybody who's local. I don't know where it will be after it runs its festival circuit. It's been running the circuit for a few months, but if you're local, I think it's going to be at Culver City. I think it was like first week of December or something. So yeah, that's cool. It's another, November and December I have movies playing. That's fucking cool for me. Hell yeah. Yeah. I thought it would be on VOD in December. I don't think I said that. If it is, I didn't say it because I don't know that, but maybe. Wouldn't that be something? No, it's going to be in Culver City Film Festival. Thank you for the Streamlabs and the super chats, y'all. Okay, so detaching from outcome. So, as you guys who watch this channel know, I request that information you learn on this channel, you are chill about and keep on this channel. Here's what we don't do. You don't take Roxy's love life and bring it over to other shows. That is for the rock stars. That is for the Live at the Roxy people. That's for this show. This is not for the other shows. Everybody listening up. It's for here. You guys are the ones I trust. I don't trust all their fans. They're weirdos. Some of them are amazing, but some of them be really attacking me. If you're at this show, theoretically, you like me. Theoretically, if you're watching Live at the Roxy, you're here for Roxy. All right. Sam says you don't need to tell me. It's one of the other people you need to tell. Yes, Sam. That was not directed at you. Yeah, Mel, it's not directed at you. I'm so sorry to be sexist for a second, but it's really not directed at any of the women. I don't think any woman's ever thrown me under the bus on another show. Never ever has it happened where a woman outed my tea. Women be tight-lipped. Women be getting it. Women that hear me talk on this show are like, yep, and that's for the rock stars only. For sure. Men be blabbermouths. Men be blabbermouths. And no, this is not directed at Mike. Since I called out Mike, Mike has been, well, since I called him out the second time, he's been, so everybody, listen up. It's for the rock stars. Okay. And shout out to LRD955. Thank you for the super chat, my dear. Look, it's Elmo in the chat, y'all. All right, here we go. You got it, ma'am. Zip it. Zip it, you little gossips. Women got my back. Okay. So I've been seeing this guy. You guys know. We've now been seeing each other we went on our first date on the 18th of October. So that would be 6.5 weeks. That's a weird way to count time, but and let's see if anybody can relate to this. Having a crush on somebody makes me feel like a crazy person. Not because of what he is doing, but because it is a feeling that makes me feel not in control. And so I am learning to detach from the outcome in order to enjoy the process. When you're dating in your 30s, and maybe this is how you feel in your 20s or 40s or whatever, I feel that it's very hard to detach from outcome because simultaneously, I am right now going through the process of attempting to start to freeze my eggs. I phrase it like that because I still don't know that I'm eligible. I have had many appointments. I have some cause for concern. And this is something that is $25,000 minimum and could be up to significantly more than that because every cycle you do, which at my age and with my egg count might be potentially significantly more, is tens of thousands more. So it's a very stressful process. And while freezing my eggs has nothing to do with this guy, anybody that I date, I'm thinking about what bucket is this person in for me? Is this a long-term thing? Is this a short-term thing? If this is a short-term thing, can I simultaneously look for a long-term thing? If it's a short-term thing, how short does it need to be in order for me to still feel okay about something being a short-term thing? If it's a long-term thing, what boxes do they need to check in order for me to continue feeling comfortable pursuing it long-term? And one of those things is that I would like to have children. And so while I'm going through the process of freezing my eggs, having a crush on somebody doesn't feel completely irrelevant to that. So I'm struggling with this because the craziest part about this all is that I have not had a crush on somebody in fucking forever. And what happens when you have a crush on somebody is that you feel things that you haven't felt in a long time, and some of those things are uncomfortable, and some of them are overwhelming. And that's where I'm at right now. So I'll tell you guys some tea. So just for some good things, as you guys know, when I started talking about this guy on this channel. I had gone on a couple of dates and I was like, I just don't think it's going to be a long-term thing. I just have that feeling. And I don't know whether I was saying that to protect my heart or whether it was because that was real. But definitely my thoughts on that changed. And as they started to change, I started to become increasingly concerned about what my life would actually look like if I let somebody into it, which I haven't in a really long time, and how that would impact my day-to-day life, my family life, my career. And these are all things that you think you're ready for, and then it's scary, and you don't know if they're happening. And again, attempting to detach from outcome. So right now where I'm at is I'm really trying to take it day by day, knowing that I have a crush on somebody and really living by the Mel Robbins expression of let them, which has to do with let them show you who they are. So right now I am attempting to let him. So going back to some of the good things, you guys know early on, I feel like he was very, very intentional about setting up dates, texting me, reaching out when he knew that I had hard days or busy days. He sent me that $10 Venmo for matcha, which I just thought was so endearing. I had a frustrating doctor's appointment and he brought me over flowers and sushi. Just things like that were just really, really thoughtful. And then we saw each other in Boston. We weren't going to see each other for like 3 weeks. And wait, pausing the story for a second. Baby girl Brandy, happy birthday, my love. Everybody pause and wish Brandy a happy birthday. I can't move forward with the story until every single person in the chat has said happy birthday to Brandy. Brandy, until you allow the story to move forward, I need you to say, I feel the birthday love. And once you feel the birthday love, we can move forward, but not until then. Brandy, the ball's in your court. Everybody, happy birthday to Brandy. Brandy's an OG. Brandy's a mod. Brandy just got married. Brandy found the love of her life through this community. Shower her. Shower her like the queen that she is. Yes to everybody. Roll through. Let's go, rock stars. HBD Brandy. Let's go, let's go. Boston Brandy, baby. It's fucking cold at home, Brandy. It's fucking cold. I do not like the cold weather anymore. Send cake. Send bunnies. Keep going. Everybody flutter. Flutter sounds sexual. I just mean flood her with kind messages. Flood her with, okay, Brandy, they can't stop until you say, I feel the birthday love. She said, it is cold. It's fucking cold there, guys. The East Coast is cold. Boston is cold. It's cold as shit there. But what's warm is Brandy. Warm heart. Tough exterior. Warm heart. Cold weather. Okay, she feels the birthday love. Thank you, team. Thank you, squad. Happy birthday, babe. Where was I at? Oh, okay. All right. Yeah. So I debated telling you guys this, but because we decided we keep it here and in the interest of transparency, he lives in the New England area. His family's from the New England area. And so he was going to be flying home for Thanksgiving anyway. And so he was flying home for Thanksgiving. And when I was back east, he called me or messaged me, whatever. It was like Sunday. And he was like, if I can get off early from work and fly back, would you be able to hang with me on Monday and Tuesday if I fly into the city and stay there for a couple days before I go see my fam? So, man, it was like, I'll probably make this video private after I, because it's me being super vulnerable with you guys, but I thought that was like so nice, um, and thoughtful, and also overwhelming, but not in a bad way, in a like, oh my God, this person likes me and really wants to see me and wants to take me out to dinner and wants to walk around our hometown together. Like, well, boy, that felt kind of real. Um, so we did do that, and it was fucking awesome. We got dinner in the North End, which those of you guys who don't know is the Italian area, and it was raining, and there was like issues with things were shut down and places were closing, but we made it work and giggled about it. And um yeah, we got a drink in the Seaport, and he's awesome. Yeah. So I'm trying not to think too far ahead. We haven't had like many of the real serious conversations. I'm just really liking his company right now. And I'm kind of nervous to have any of those bigger conversations, because that's when, like, if things aren't aligned and don't go well, I feel like you kind of have to either step away or put somebody in a different box. And right now, I don't know where it's going to land. And so it's like this exciting time of, I've got this guy who I think is super into me and I'm really into him. And he seems like a really great guy. And I like am not ready for that to change yet, which I think you kind of can just take things day by day. But yeah, I'm not attached. I'm trying to detach from outcome. And it's been a really long time since I've enjoyed anybody's company. Um, Brandy, yes, he did take me to Mike's Pastry. Yes, he did. I love it there. And I actually asked him, because it was across from where we were eating. I was like, oh my God, can we please go to Mike's? And we did. And I actually got a very strange order. I got a gingerbread man there because of the time of year, and it was awesome. Um, he's like, of course we got to do Mike's. I was like, oh, so nice that he's from where I'm from, because he knows. Yeah. Uh I'm appreciative of you guys in the chat right now talking about like it's okay to go with the flow. No, Brandy, I can't eat a cannoli because I can't eat cheese. I know, because the ricotta. Otherwise, of course I would. I know. It's fucked up. I usually get an eclair, which are so good there. But I wanted the gingerbread man. He got a cannoli. Smart man. I hope he's cuter than the past. Sam, have I gone for not cute in the past? Is my type not cute? I have to tell you guys, like, in terms of cuteness, every time I see him, he's more attractive every time. But I don't want to exactly say what it was because I'm still kind of working through it, but he did something yesterday that I did not like. And it wasn't the worst thing in the world, but in terms of Mel Robbins, like, let them, and you're learning who somebody is. I think something that's really difficult about being single for as long as I have is that now he's not in competition with all the other men out there, although he is in competition with all the other people out there. That's how it works. But he's in competition with my peace because I really do love being alone, and I love the life that I built for myself. And so it's kind of interesting to have somebody do something where, I could just like decide to blow this up at any time based on any choices he makes. And when I was younger, I was so attached to my ex, and there was like nothing he could have done that would have made me walk away, even though I should have a million times. And now it's kind of almost like the opposite end of that, where the slight hint at something I don't like, and I'm kind of like, maybe I should dead it. And yeah, like he did something that I didn't love, and I know he knew that I did something I didn't love, and so he FaceTimed me, and we were like talking about it for a second, and I was kind of just like, I don't really even want to talk about this right now. I want to like process this. He was pretty great about it. He is very great about being communicative and like trying to figure each other out, like what somebody likes or doesn't like. It's not like what he did was like something egregious. It wasn't my preference. And so, yeah, just kind of interesting. Anyway, questions, comments, concerns, streamlabs.com/Roxy Stryer, super chat in. Appreciate you guys being here so far, talking about detaching from outcome. I'm working on it myself. I'll talk about the health stuff in a second for it. But before I do, streamlabs.com/Roxy Stryer, our QMDSMD says 30 plus years in the mental health field. I learned working with suicidal clients, you can do and say the right things, but can't save them all. It makes a lot of sense, our QMDSMD. You really have to detach from outcome on that. And it's really about process and helping who you can, how you can. Thank you for sharing that. John Get Bent in streamlabs.com/Roxy Stryer says, glad your Thanksgiving traveling went well. I know this is not much, but put it in the salmon fund. John, that's so funny because, and by the way, thank you. Every dollar means the world. All of your guys' support means the world to me. And it's interesting because I bought salmon to make for dinner after this. So thank you for the salmon fund. Appreciate you. Yep. Okay. The health bucket or whatever. So after I got that full body scan this year, it gave me a lot of good stuff. But one of the things that it talked about was my follicles, and I don't have a lot of follicles. So follicles is what you need to get pregnant, for egg retrieval. So that's because of many different factors, but the primary one being my age. But there's a lot of people at my age who could have a lot more than me and some with less than me. So it's not always just like that. But it kind of gave me the kick in the ass to really move forward with the possible process of freezing my eggs. So I went to my gynecologist, and I have now been going through the process of being off of my birth control, which I've been on for over 10 years, for a plethora of reasons, almost none of which were to prevent me from getting pregnant, because no, that's not true when I was in my previous relationship, but I really liked the birth control that I was on. It was really good for my mood, for my skin, for my hair, for just a lot of things. But in order to check the quality of your follicles and eggs, you have to get different levels, which you do through going off of your birth control and running these tests. And so, one of the things that I know last month, I went to go see the gynecologist. And one of the things that she told me about was like, in this journey, Roxy, I really want you to focus on taking it one step at a time because you never know what's going to happen. And so just try to start knocking things out. And she was like, so the first thing that you need to do that you've already done, go off of your birth control. The next thing you need to do, you're here right now doing, which is set up your, the next step in the process, which the next step in the process for those who are interested is on the first through fourth day of your period, you have to go get this panel done to test certain things. Unfortunately, I was back in Boston during that time. So, tomorrow is actually day 4. So I have to call in the morning, see if they can see me. If not, it gets pushed another month. So, I'm talking about all this because I feel like nobody really talks about this. And I like desperately wish somebody had talked to me about any of this stuff because the process is very overwhelming and I'm trying to take it one step at a time and talk to you guys about those steps. So anybody who thinks about taking that does, just knows more about it. And I think it's equally as important for men to know about this too, because I'm so tired of this being a woman issue, because it's equally important to men and women having children or not having children. And so I think it's disgusting that women have to pay for this fully and wholly. And I think that, of course, I think the government should partially be financing this and people's employment places partially. But I also think that as a man personally, if I was committed to a person who was thinking about freezing their eggs, I think that that should be a conversation you guys talk about financially and otherwise. Anyway, though, so step 1 was me going off the pill. Step 2 is me getting this panel done, which unfortunately I might be gone the next month too because it's during Christmas time. And by I might be gone, I mean they might not be in office. So you have to do it during that time period, whenever that is. So if it's not in December, then it will be in January. And then after that comes back, I asked them kind of what is the next step. And she was like, I can overview this for you. But again, it's kind of like a video game, right? Like you have to get through every level to know if you can even get to the next level. So that started to really stress me out over the last couple of weeks because I'm like, what if I can't have, what if I've waited too long and I can't have biological kids now? Which is a very real possibility. And I guess the piece that I'm finding in that is that what if I did, I did. Um, if I did, I did. And if I didn't, I didn't. There's a lot of ways to have kids. If that's something that's in my future, I will figure out one of those ways. It could be this, it could be something else. Whoever is the right partner for me will understand that one way or another. And I think that it's something that I don't want to think of the outcome. I want to just take the steps and do what I can at this point and control what I can. There's no world in which when I was younger, I would have had the money to be able to do this. So now here I am working on this process step by step. Go off birth control, get these panels. The first thing was doing the full body scan, which you don't have to do, but was helpful for me to know where I was at. Go off birth control, get the scan, take it from there. And so that, again, all coming down to detaching from outcome. I can't I don't want to sit here and say to myself, I need the outcome to be that I can have biological children, because my future partner might not be able to have them. I might not be able to have them. We might not be able to have them together. So just trying to detach from that and knowing where I ultimately want to end up is a place where I have a stellar career. I'm performing like Betty White till the day that I die. I have a family around me who I love, who loves me. And that's where I want to be. And believing that I will get there, knowing that I will get there, but not knowing the specifics of what that looks like. So that. Anyway, maybe that's something that anybody can relate to, or maybe it's not. Maybe you're listening to this and you're like, what the fuck is this girl talking about? I have a very male heavy audience, but again, I think it's important for you guys to know these things and like kind of what goes into women's health, which is a lot of money and time and stress. John get bent in the, oh, I already read that one. Thank you to John Get Bent again, though. And thank you to RQMDSMD and Handsome Ransom and to Lloyd Nance and to our super chatters, which are Scotty doesn't know, Leonidas Langford 1370 and LRD 955. I've been here for an hour and 11 minutes. Whoa. Brandy said, I'm listening. Thank you, Brandy, for listening. I don't know what you were talking about before. I just saw that part, but I read a script of my friends this week that was so good and so personal to them. And I wrote them a nice long note and she just responded. I'm so grateful that she shared the script with me. Anyway. Yep. Anything else before I get out of here, friends? Thank you for listening and chatting with me on this last day of November. We're about to go into the last month of the year. In the comments, if I keep the video up, leave what some of your thoughts are for the next year. It doesn't have to be specific goals, but I'm attempting to detach from outcome as much as I can. What are you guys trying to do? Copy mine if you want. Come up with your own. Maybe I'll copy some of those, borrow them, steal them. Send in your thoughts. All right, my loves. Without further questions, comments, concerns, it's time for me to go make salmon. Stay safe, stay sane. Put down the toilet seat and lid. We don't want this flumes. Don't try with the Holocaust. Justice for all the people who've lost their lives due to excessive force. My body, my choice. Forever in the rainbow, we love you. We stand with the women of Iran, some of the bravest women we've ever seen. Golden sparkles for the Zen one himself. Another super chat coming in. My goal is to release an album. Wow, that's a huge goal. Best of luck. I hope that you kick some butt. Go, go, go. The Pluribus episode. The Pluribus episode, guys. It was crazy. Maybe we'll talk more about it on Wednesday. Sam, what's going on? Write to me in the Discord. I want to know kind of more what's going on if you're willing to share. Obviously, you can write it here too, but life can be a lot. And having people who want to listen hopefully sometimes helps. Son of Vader, thank you for sharing about the album. What kind of album? Let me know. Oh, yeah, my trip back east was really great. My niece is perfect. I love her. Ugh, Brandy, I'm sorry your mom's in the hospital. And it's like even things like that, detaching from outcome. I'm not saying detach from whether your mom lives or dies. Of course, we're going to have attachment to that. But your goal is to be the best daughter you can be. Show up as often as you can. Do as much for her as you can. Help as much as you can. And that has to be enough. You doing the best you can do is the best you can do. Kidney infections fucking suck, dude. Keep us posted. That's not a fun birthday present. Not at all. But on the bright side, you now have the love of your life to share the load with. Hopefully he's helpful with that kind of stuff. The reaction audience is so simple-minded. What happened? I feel like the rock stars on this channel are not the reaction audience. Oh my God, Charlie Flicks Fix, your birthday was Thanksgiving. One of my best friend's birthdays was Thanksgiving. Can't believe you guys have to share a birthday with everybody being grateful all day. That day's supposed to be about you. How was it? Did you celebrate it all? Oh, good, Brandy, that he's good at that stuff. Caretaker men. That's my type. For sure. We were talking about crazy commentators on Terminator 3 reaction. Oh, I didn't even look at that yet. I'm sure they were batshit. All right. Well, I said my goodbyes. Wish me luck with I was in charge of turkey. Oh my God, it's stressful. Big 30th. You had to make a turkey on your 30th birthday? It's kind of a fucking big deal. Holy shit. All right, Son of Vader. My band is Queen City Rising, QCR. Cool name. Queen City Rising. I hope the album kicks butt. Tell us when you drop it. It was bomb, though. Yeah, good. At least the turkey was good. Imagine if you fucked up the turkey on your birthday. That'd be even worse. All right. I've said bye like 80 times. Maybe I just don't want to leave you guys, but I'm going to. Not forever, but for now. I'll see you guys. Oh, tomorrow I'm going to see Avatar tomorrow night. So I'll put a reaction out on my socials. And then Tuesday, Christian Harloff show. Oh, has my reaction to it, Welcome to Dairy, dropped on Real Rejects? You guys can watch that now if you watch the show. See Real Rejects. Search. Let's see. Wow, it hasn't dropped yet? I'm kind of surprised. Videos. Huh. Well, whenever that drops, that will be tonight. Tuesday, Christian Harloff show. Wednesday, back here with you guys. Avatar Monday on my socials or whenever the embargo drops. Thursday, usually I'm on Real Rejects. Friday, Only Stupid Answers. Sunday, back here with you. Bada bing, bada boom. That. I bought my own cake and ate it just now. Hell yeah, Brandy. Independent woman. Even though you got a man, you don't need no man. You can buy your own cake. I hope it was good. I like chocolate cake, vanilla frosting. Yummy. But also, like, sometimes I just want a chocolate chip cookie instead of cake. I know that birthdays are about cake, but, like, sometimes I'd be wanting a cookie. So there's that. You remember when I said I was really going to leave this time? And then I'm just still here. Still talking to you guys. Just here. Keep sending super chats and stream lives, and I guess I'll stay forever. What do you listen to? Rock and roll, disco, pretty much exclusively. And Noah Khan, whatever he is. No, that's not true. I love 90s music too in general. Alt rock, pop. I listen to a lot of 50s and 60s music with Grammy because she likes to listen to that in the car and she's got stories about all the singers. But it's usually Chili Peppers, Fleetwood Mac, Bruce Springsteen, Noah Khan, Destiny's Child, The Supremes, Donna Summer, who are my most listened to artists otherwise. Yeah. A lot of that. Yeah, I do like Motown. I don't like when cake has cream cheese frosting because I can't eat it because allergic. And also gross. Stop putting cheese in all your desserts. It screws me. And the salmon isn't sitting out. It's in the fridge. Don't you worry. And Adam Gertler, friend of mine and chef, taught me that you don't actually marinate salmon for long if you're using lemon because it would cook it. So I'm going to just marinate it for like 15 minutes. I think I'm just going to do sweet potato, salmon, zucchini, garlic, olive oil, salt, pep. Yum. Keep it fresh. Or do I want to make some mushrooms? It's time to bring rock back. Isn't it always, Son of Vader? I just can't believe that we haven't brought rock and roll back the way that it deserves to be front and center. I do like some modern rock bands. Like, I think the Killers are sick. ABC and the Streamlabs with that big support, streamlabs.com/Roxy Stryer. Okay, ABC. Been a while since I donated. I love the channel and have for a while. Keep it up. I believe in what you're doing. Abik, ABC. It was really nice. Appreciate you. Thank you for that support. This is why I haven't left you guys, because you guys just are too kind and too supportive, and I can't go anywhere. Or maybe this is your ploy to make me starve. It's a sign. It was so good to see Grammy today. I haven't seen me just bringing up whole new topics. I had not seen her in a week since I left. It was so nice to see her. And immediately we FaceTimed my brother, and she straight up said she likes my brother better than me. It's so mean. She's a bit of a bully. She called me this morning. She was coming over. She called me early this morning. She said, I just want to let you know, I'm looking at old pictures of you where your hair looked blonder, and I like it better blonde. I was like, thank you for the phone call. So nice. Appreciate you. House and Chains. I love grunge music. Love, love, love. Yeah, Brandon, I do just want to hang out with you on your birthday. Although technically where you are, it's not your birthday anymore, babe. It's no longer. It's now December for you. It's not December for me. It's December for you. Gertler was on that Thanksgiving episode. We deep fried a turkey. And then Steph dropped everything before we could eat it. Spilled wine on it. Big shout out to ABC for that big support. Appreciate you. All right. So let's leave now. Let's say goodbye. The important thing is to leave them wanting more. I certainly have not done that. I've stayed here for far too long. And you're sick of me. And I get it. So on that note, fare thee well. I've enjoyed the journey. It's not always just about the destination. And it's time for me to GTFO. Later, rock stars.